This the NC State, riding round in my NC place. The tall hills and NC State, yes, NC's great. Cheer wine in my NC State, wouldn't rather be in any place. This the NC State, riding round in my NC place. The Winston Rams and EC State, yes, NC's great. From Cookout to Bojangles Place, wouldn't rather be in any place. This the NC State. It's a beautiful day in the R.
Alright, y'all, welcome to No Fluff TV. Our first in-house interview this year, man, because it's been crazy. Introduce yourself to everyone.
What's good, everybody? I go by the name of 2FlyKng, that's King. I'm a hip-hop artist and producer from Henderson, North Carolina, part of Create Our Own Collective. Facts.
Word. Yeah, man, I'm the P, man, No Fluff TV. It's good to have you, man.
It's good to be here.
So, I initially heard about you through Chaz.
Crown Chaz.
Crown Chaz, yeah, he was here. He did an interview, and I believe the question was like, either what artist inspired him or who was better than him, and he started naming off people, but then he got to you, and like he held on like, yo, no, my man King, or I don't know if he said King or KNG, like, yo, he like the truth. And I was like, word? He's like, yeah, nigga like Nas or something. I was like, word, okay. And so, you know, sometimes, to be honest, I hear stuff like that, and I really don't care or pay attention.
Yeah.
And, you know, after the time passed, I started seeing stuff, and I was like, okay. And then, I think you did like a IG interview or something.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this guy kind of interesting right here, like, because I'm paying attention closely to how a person interacts, how their music sounds, what's the content, and then I was starting to get a whole lot more content. And you know, a lot of times with the younger artists, I don't really pay attention to, just because, like, you know, there's an age gap.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what you guys are into is young stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I'm like, I don't really want to hear all, you know, but, you know, like, what I've been hearing was like, it was so much good content, and then it was like, it sounded good. So, like, you know, I was like, just gained like an appreciation for it. And then I think you and LA, what's her name? Latone. Okay. Y'all put out that project, and I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, 2 weeks ago, I was telling my wife about it, and I was like, yo, that junk sound good. So, you know, we pulled it up downstairs, you know, we was chilling to it. So I was like, man, you know, the guy, I see what Chaz was saying now, like, you know. And then another thing that kind of hit me, like, I think you put out, I don't know, it's your latest song.
I'm a Black Man.
Yeah. Hard. And I was like, okay, I gotta get him on like ASAP. You know what I mean? And you know, we see video, y'all out there protesting and everything. So I said all that to say, let's go back to the beginning.
Cool.
How did you get where you are right now? So where did you get your name from?
Well, my father named me Khalil Nassim Gay. That's my birth name.
Okay.
And my initials are KNG.
Right.
My first name was the Kid Khalil. That was, you know, some people might know me as that. That was my first like name. I was
like rap name.
Yeah. Really my first rap name was K Grand, but I ended up changing that really quick when I was about 13 to the Kid Khalil. And I had been putting out music under the Kid Khalil for a long time, until about age 17.
Word.
And I decided at that time I wanted to kind of grow into myself more, like who I was as an artist.
Right.
And so I just did a lot of soul searching and you know, finding out who I actually was. And I really thought about my name as KNG, like as King. And I felt like I was named that for a purpose, so I wanted to completely take that on. And then just recently I added the 2Fly to the beginning to pay homage to my hometown. So yeah, that's where the name comes from.
2Fly, because it's 2Fly too.
Yeah, facts.
Okay. Now, so that means you've been like doing music for a long time. How old are you now?
19.
19. Okay,
Yeah.
so it hadn't been that long ago, but okay. So you say you got into music by who?
Well, I got into music, like I've been around music my entire life. Just, being in church, grew up in church, being around the choir all the time. And, I started playing keyboard when I was about 11, but actually my father passed away when I was about 8 years old.
Right.
And he was a rapper, and when he passed away, everybody was kind of always just telling me, like, that he was one of the best rappers that they knew, this, that, and the third. I'm like, I never heard him rap. To this day, I haven't heard any of his music. And I kind of, later on that year when he passed away, he passed in March of 2009. And later on that year, I just kind of picked up the pen. Like October 15, 2009 was the first day I ever wrote a rap.
Right.
I was 8 years old, and from that day on, I've been writing consistently.
Right.
And yeah, so that's another reason why my album You Lost is coming out October 15th this year. Because October 15th, 2009 was the first day I wrote a rap. Just want to be able to acknowledge that, and yeah, it's very special to me.
Right.
Yeah.
How was it growing up in church? Like, what was that like for you? I grew up in church as well, and so there's a difference between growing up in the church in the 80s or really in the 90s, and then growing up in the church in the 2000s.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's a big difference.
So yeah, what was it like for you?
I would say this. I know my experience is a lot different from everybody else's, because I was one of those people that was like at everything in church and out of church, because my grandmother was, I always say she was the true definition of a missionary. Like she was at everything, like Sunday schools, like church, lead church, go to another church, go to another service. We're going to the Middle Baptist Association conferences. We're going to Sunday Bible study, usher board meeting, mission, like things, doing missionary work outside of the church. For me, it was, looking back, it was good for me in a lot of cases, and in a lot of cases, I feel like it could have been better for me. I don't feel like it stunted my growth, but I feel like it did affect like who I am today as a person. I kind of learned a lot of things about
like
the
some
real
morals
world.
and stuff.
Right. Like the moral part of it is good, and then in some cases, like stuff about the streets. With me growing up, I grew up in the hood, but it was different because I was always in church as well. Like I knew better, basically. So
you saying maybe the streets had a call on you, but you felt the pull, like, yeah, I shouldn't be doing it.
Exactly.
Because you had some type of structure, maybe. Right. Okay. I know this is like kind of weird. Are you comfortable?
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
I feel like you were like being real professional.
Nah, bro.
This is no Fluff TV, man. Relax.
Facts. I'm good, homie. Yeah, I'm good.
Right, okay. So, your grandma was doing a lot of missionary work, so you was going to different services and everything. Like, did it tire you out?
Yeah, it did.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it did. I never felt like I had anything, like, any time to do anything outside of that. Like, I never really, like, I played with my friends and stuff like that, had the game at home, but I never really got a chance to do, like, everything that they was doing.
Right.
It was kind of like, it was always church first, then whatever else came second.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, your experience and my experience is totally different. Like, I definitely grew up in the Christian household, but mine was, we didn't have church like that. I think I think what you're talking about is more like a denominational thing.
Yeah.
What was the
Baptist.
denomination? Baptist. Yeah. See, like, I didn't grow up in Baptist or like Pentecostal or anything like where it was like a whole bunch of services. Monday, Tuesday, it wasn't nothing crazy, but it was stricter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I didn't necessarily get tired of church. I actually liked going. And I used to try to get my friends to go, like, yo, it's some bad girls at this church. You know what I mean? Even though it was wild in there, like, I was, I definitely humped some girls and got a few fingers and everything in church now. But, like, I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? So I was curious about that. Now you said you were growing up, you had to go to church a lot during childhood with your grandma, but your dad rapped. Now, is that your grandma's son?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No, it's two different sides.
Two different sides, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so your dad wasn't into church at all.
My dad did go to church, but it was kind of a thing where it was spotty. It was like
Gotcha.
I never knew him as a church guy.
Okay, so he wasn't like a Christian rapper.
Right.
Got you. Okay. And you said you never heard his music. You never heard him mumbling anything or nothing.
Nope. Never heard any of his music before.
So what happened? Like, what happened with him? Why he passed?
Well, from what I know, like my father had a stroke and passed away in operation.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he was in rehab from that. So.
Yeah. He
had an enlarging heart as well. So I don't know. I don't know the complete everything what happened still to this day.
Do you question what happened? Do you question God about what happened?
I don't think I question God as much as I kind of just wonder what things would be like with my dad being here. It's it's one of those things you can't miss what you never had, but you can at the same time. It's like you kind of wish that you had that. I know who my dad was. Like a lot of people in my family, even they think I don't remember him. Like even those small moments or short moments that I had with him, I remember every minute, every second of it. Right. Because I have photographic memory, so I remember everything.
When's your birthday?
December 27th.
27. Okay, Sagittarius. No,
Capricorn.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Word. And I think in one of your songs you say your grandma passed not long after that or something like that.
Nah. So my father passed 2009.
Okay.
My grandmother that I was talking about in church, she passed a couple years back. I was 16.
Okay.
15, 16.
Okay. Yeah. Now, how did that affect you?
That one hurt. Right. That one hurt because my grandma was my rock, and people always look I love my mother, you know what I'm saying, and she's the closest thing to me. But even with that, my grandma was just like a rock, the strong pillar of the family. Really. Right. So for to lose her, it was hard for all of us. Right. Me, my immediate family, and even just people around us. When my grandma passed, the funeral was I never seen that many people at a funeral before. Right. She affected a lot of people. But for me, it was kind of I missed what it was. I missed that relationship. I missed what she did for us. Because you don't get that. You don't get that from a lot of people. Just the dedication, the amount of love. It's it's something that you can't really replicate. Right. Yeah. Yeah,
man, definitely. I understand that. A lot of times the black women are the backbone and strength of families, and they raise us up to be strong men and strong women, and so definitely got to salute that, man. So we hit I know they're talking about death and stuff like that, so let's pick it up a little bit.
Yeah,
let's pick it up a little bit.
Yeah,
let's go to these no fluff questions, man. Yeah. I'll get you to open up just a little bit. So this is how it works. I choose a number between 1 to 10.
Okay.
You choose a number. I'm gonna do the math on it. And those are the number of questions you gotta ask. No fluff.
All
right. What's your number?
4.
All right. My number was 2. So 2 questions.
2 questions. Oh, I gotta get number 2. Yeah. Okay. Make sure there's only one.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. What category do you go to on Pornhub?
Yeah. There you go.
No category. I'm a saint, bro. I'm a saint, bro.
That's fluff right there.
That ain't fluff.
That's fluff.
It's all cap. Right hand of God.
Okay, maybe not Pornhub, but X videos.
No. All porn is on Twitter, bro.
See? Look, we found out where he goes.
I don't look for it. It's on Twitter, bro.
Okay. All right. What's
the other question? Wildin'. What is one thing you do that would be considered weird? I drive long distance by myself very often. Oh, really? I go a lot of places by myself. I'm an extrovert. I love people, but I struggle with with self-esteem and like with loving myself and stuff like that for a long time. So I picked like every Friday when quarantine wasn't going on, when coronavirus wasn't a thing, I would go like to the movies by myself and do something that I never did before. I had to learn to like do stuff for myself, and people would find that weird because it's like,
yeah, what you doing, bro? Like, you know, how you go to movies by yourself?
Right, and I go out to eat by myself. I treat myself to you know, to
hold on now, hold on.
Yeah.
You go to McDonald's by yourself? Like
No.
Don't say it like a real restaurant, bro.
Yeah.
Cause listen, I'm the one in there talking about you. I'm like, look at him. He ain't got no friends. He ain't here by himself. Look, just eating eating, looking at your phone.
And I'll be eating and like not even be on my phone too. Like that's another thing I do that's weird. When I do that, I turn my phone off.
Wow.
You know, like I go and just experience.
You're just like, yeah, let me get the chicken parmesan. Do y'all have the sweet rolls? Okay, yeah, and I would like the sweet tea as well. Thank you.
Sweet tea.
Yeah. Is that what you do?
Yeah. And I just sit there and I mean, not people watch, but I just, you know, pay attention to my surroundings. You know, that's why it's important to me to go somewhere nice so I can like enjoy it, experience it.
Right.
Like, if I was just going to McDonald's,
so you know, you go to this restaurant, she's sitting in there alone, people watching. Yo, that's some old people stuff right there, yo.
You gotta learn to enjoy life on your own.
No, I mean, that's cool though. Like, you know, I kind of get it. I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's that's different. But anyway, man. So okay, let's get into this music thing a little bit. So you start writing in October, right, of 2009.
Yeah.
What made you pick up the pen? Well, like what motivated you to like, all right, I'm gonna write?
Well, with my father passing away, it was kind of a thing where I wanted to like pick up the mantle, so to speak,
okay,
and like finish the race for him, so to speak,
okay,
like, you know, just continuing that legacy, because I figured if he was as good as what people were saying, I'll be equally as good. My mom is a poet as well.
Okay,
she writes. So I started off. That's another thing. I started off with poetry. October 15th was the first day I wrote like poetry.
Right.
And then from that, it kind of evolved into me, you know, always being around hip hop. My father also like bought me hip hop gifts. Like when I turned 6, my father bought me J Dilla Donuts CD, and that was and people I don't know why nobody believed me, but that was the year, you know, that Donuts came out, 2006, right. I believe. And he bought it for me for my birthday, or birthmas, because my birthday's so close to Christmas. Right. And you know, I had my little radio in my room, and I play it every single day. Like, and when he passed away, I never played it again. I don't even know where it's at. Wow. But it's like from that, I kind of, you know, I already loved hip hop. It was all in my household. Right. My mom introduced me to like Wu-Tang and Biggie and Tupac and a couple other like hip hop artists. Okay. And Fugees was like, those are the main artists I came up listening to. Okay. Along with the mix of like gospel. Right. And neo soul, which is what my mom mostly listened to when I was younger, like Erykah Badu. There's a lot of music, Soul Child. Kim is one of her favorite artists. Oh yeah, he was heavy around that time. Yeah. Van Hunt was one of her favorite artists. Okay. Jill Scott, like just a couple of you know neo soul. Like right. Now, out of all the artists that you were introduced to, from your family, and your friends, who did you really like? Okay, I like this guy. From my friends and family, like who really stood out and like, man, I really like this person. It touched my heart. Yeah. It'd probably be Dilla, man. Really? It'd probably be Dilla because it was just like, it was what I was feeling with no words. Right. Like when I listened to Dilla, like I even say not past Dilla. If I was listening to like a Slum Village song, Elzhi could be like ripping the beat to pieces, and I'm just listening to the beat, like throughout the whole. There's no disrespect to Elzhi or any of the other artists that he worked with, but it's like when you hear that, even with Common too, like, and that's another one of my favorite artists. When you listening to the beat, it's like that's what's telling the story. It's
Right.
kind of like those guys are just there
Right.
narrating almost.
Okay.
It's like it just resonated with me on a level deeper than just the surface. Like,
Yeah.
so
I mean, that's really interesting, man. Like, you know, for a guy to be your age and really gravitating to the artists that you're naming, it says a whole lot. So, you know, I don't know who's watching this video, but you know, if you real hip hop head, you know you're gonna get something from this guy right here, man. So that's dope, man. So what was your first rap like? Like beyond poetry, because I think a lot of people get into rap, you know, through poetry. But what was your first real rap like?
So my first rap, I remember bits and pieces of it, but I would take my mom's cell phone. You know, back then you had with the little pad on it, the keyboard on it. And I would go to her voice memos, and as I was watching TV, I would like freestyle about what's happening on TV. Like I remember my very first rap, I was watching Lil Romeo on TV, and I had my mom's phone on the voice memos, and I was freestyling about what he was rapping about on TV.
Okay.
Like it was kind of like I was in a cipher sort of type of thing. You know? It was fun. I used to do that every single day.
So who did you like, Bow Wow or Romeo?
Lil Romeo.
Okay.
It was like a little different, like different swag.
Right.
I was always the kind of person I ain't like what nobody else was doing.
Right.
If everybody liked Bow Wow, I'm gonna be the guy that like Lil Romeo.
Right.
Well, I won't big into that, but
Okay.
that's kind of who I was more into.
Right. Like who did you know what made you want to take the music seriously? Because you know I think in the beginning most of us just kind of write, you know, just to
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But then what made you say, I really can do this. I really can pursue.
Yeah. I think it was not only when I found out I was actually good, but it was when I found out that I actually was in love with music. Like when I listen to myself now talking about music, it's like I mean everything I'm saying about it. I just put up a post the other day on Facebook, was like just showing my musical journey from when I got my first set of drums to like me performing on the stage now. It's like back then I felt the exact same way that I do now about my music. It's like I done been happy with my music. I done cried with my music. Went through depression with my music. Like been through my best times with music. So yeah, I think when I started taking music serious is when I understood that not only do I have the skill, but I got the passion for this. Even past like other stuff that I was good in, because I was a good student in school.
You graduated high school and all that. You went to college?
I didn't go to college.
Okay.
Yeah, I graduated in 2019. I got accepted to a few good colleges. I ended up even going. I went to Full Sail University. I was doing online for audio production, but I ended up like saying this not for me. I can't do this because my heart is not the thing that they was teaching. It's like they were teaching the technical aspects of music, which I somewhat understood. The technical aspects, but I just didn't have the connections. That's what I was looking for out of the school, but I didn't get that.
Oh, okay.
I was like, you can't teach.
You
the
want
heart.
to connect with other people,
right?
You know,
and I kind of wasn't getting that from it.
Right.
So you know, for me to have been, and I was also like, it wasn't. I had scholarships, but it wasn't covering everything. So I'm like, if I'm gonna put $20,000-$30,000 into school, I might as well put that directly into my music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of going
That's
to
dope.
school route.
That is dope. Well, I mean, what kind of student were you? Like, were you one who was really smart, you didn't have to pay attention, and you still could pass the test? Or did you really have to pay attention, stay focused to be successful?
I think that early on, I was the type of person that I really had to pay attention. People didn't acknowledge that because they thought I made it look easy. But like in elementary, middle school, I was the type of person I was really, really focused, like building good habits for school and stuff like that. But as I got to high school, I was kind of one of those people, like you said, that just didn't have to do anything. I graduated top of my class. Like I didn't really try.
Or were you popular? Like, you were a popular kid, okay.
Yeah.
Play football or something?
No, I didn't.
Basketball? None of that? Wow.
Yeah, I always was music.
Always music.
Always was music. People knew me in middle school and high school for music. Even elementary school in like the later years.
Right.
Like they just knew me as the rapper.
Any battles?
Yeah.
Like, okay, talk about them.
It was fun, man. It was and that was another point where I kind of recognized I was like a step ahead. Like in middle school, we would battle every day at lunch.
Right.
It was fun.
Yeah. Now talk about who you killed, cause he's still watching. He paying attention. I'm gonna call his name out. Who you killed?
I don't even. I'm gonna tell you though. I don't even remember who I battled specifically. But like I do remember, like me and my boy Joe used to get into it all the time about music.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him up one time. Told my boy Cam up one time.
Yeah, it's coming back to you.
My boy,
Joe and Cam killed you.
My boy Robert, I told him up one time. Everybody, man. Everybody got it. Everybody, even my boy Jordan got it too. Everybody.
So are you like Cassidy? What 5,000 to 0?
hey, I don't even. Nah, yeah, I ain't never lost a battle. I don't think.
Okay.
I ain't never lost a battle, but then again, I never really battled nobody seriously.
Okay.
I had to take music as serious as me, so I don't really count it.
Gotcha.
High school, it was different because that's when I kind of started meeting some people. I'm like, hold up, like y'all kind of good,
Right.
but I still ain't lose though.
Okay.
I still ain't lose though.
Right. So, where are you trying to take your career? Like where do you see? What do you see as success?
Success for me is building up a wonderful catalog of music. I think I just see myself doing more than what's expected, if that makes sense. Like, if people see me as a J. Cole or a Kendrick Lamar type artist, I want to be a Tupac, Biggie type artist. If people see me as that, I want to exceed that. I want to impact. I want to touch people. I want to impact people's lives. I want to show them, what it means to be an artist, what it means to love music. Because growing up, we see these artists, especially in my era now, like they really could care less about the music.
Right.
Like they don't value the art. They don't know what they like. It's sad seeing so many people that's making so much money and being so successful, and they don't know themselves.
Right.
And people like start to value the monetary aspects of music more so than like the actual personal implications of it. Like people do this for therapy.
Right.
People do this to like talk about what's going on in their lives, and then there's people out here that's kind of like destroying the art, and that's fine. Like all of it is art at the end of the day, but it's like people have to be able to see behind the music to see who you really are. I want people to know who I am behind the music. I'm an open book. People ask me anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
why is it important for people to know who you are?
So they know who they are. Cause like when I interacted with more people, like I got my manager Newman back there, and when I met him and I met my boy Shiraz, they kind of just showed me what it meant to work hard and to be yourself. When I met Chaz and the rest of Crown, they showed me what it meant to be yourself and be the best at what you do, like work hard. And I think when I met them, it had a positive impact on me. Like I recognized that I didn't have to be somebody else to be successful, or I didn't have to be somebody else to be validated as a person. I could be myself, and that's perfectly fine. I'm uniquely just me.
Right. Yeah. And they say when a person get some money, it just kind of bring out more of who they are. So, let's say you do make it and you get all the success and now you get some money. Like, how would your life look like then? Are you still gonna go to restaurants and eat by yourself?
I would hope that I would be able to. With money, I think it just would enhance what I'm doing. Like, obviously, I'm not gonna be driving that Hyundai Sonata for the rest of my life.
Right.
I'm not gonna be staying in the country, like in a 3-bedroom house for the rest of my life. I want to have what I need, of course. So I'm gonna cover all my needs, but I'm gonna have stuff that I want too, because that's just me. Like, music is something that I want to do. It would be crazy for me to deny the rest of my desires. Right. That's not real.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what do you desire? What is it that you really want?
Shoot. Really, I want to be able to pay off all debt for me and my mama. Like, that's more of a need than a want. But I want it to be a clean slate. I want to be able to travel the world
Right.
I want to be able to see everything. I love experiencing new stuff.
Right.
I love cars, so I want to get some old schools. My dream car is an '86 Buick Grand National.
Okay.
And I want to get that car, like, and I don't know, smash the streets, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to smash the streets with, put the hydraulic pumps on it.
Okay.
Go to Cali or something like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you drink or smoke?
No. Mm-mm.
None of that?
Nope.
So you're gonna roll with it, y'all. I'm a saint.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't say that I'm the perfect person, of course. Like, I got my downfalls, but I don't drink or smoke.
Okay, I was just wondering. I was just wondering. You know, like, a lot of people spend a lot of money on weed.
Yeah,
like, that's really
I hang
crazy.
out with some of them.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, and like in a week's time, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy. Cool, man. So I want to ask, just to kind of switch it up again, like, what kind of I guess we see so much going on in the world. We see, it's not a new thing where cops are killing unarmed black people. We see a lot of injustices all the time. What was it about George Floyd's murder that made you say, okay, I'm going out to protest. I'm going out to stand or say something?
Mm-hmm. I think it was just when I watched the video.
You watched the whole video?
I watched the entire everything, and I'm watching it, and like when I'm looking at him, I'm thinking about myself. You think about yourself on the ground. Like, everybody always say when he cried out for his mama, that was the last straw. His mom passed away, so like, rest in peace to both of them.
His mom passed.
Yeah, his mom had passed before, like, and he was calling out for his deceased mother.
Wow.
It's like, I think about my mama, bro.
Right.
I think about any, like, just the black family, right? This is a family man. He has kids.
Mm-hmm.
At some point he probably had a wife or girlfriend because he had the kids.
Mm-hmm.
He got brothers, sisters. He got a mother. He had a mother and a father.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about myself, I'm the same way. Like, I don't have kids, but I got brothers and sisters. I got my mom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people that care about me. If I was on the ground like that and they had to see that, I'm not even thinking just about myself. If they had to see that, that's traumatizing. Like, you ever seen his brother? Like, his brother just still can't keep it together. Like, right now, that's like.
Right.
I think I was so mad when I seen it because so many people were trying to justify. I said when black people die, the last thing that we want to hear after saying stop killing us is but.
Right.
It's no excuses. You can't justify killing somebody unarmed. Like,
right.
And whether or not they say he paid something with a forged bill or a forged check or something like that, it's like, okay, but does that justify a knee in his neck?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I look at that police officer and I'm thinking about him. Like, why would you do that? Right. And then I see that same person. I see those same motives in some of the people that I know.
Right.
Some of the people that I've encountered. It's like it's infuriating. I'm like, for y'all to be out here actually trying to justify that, y'all must not understand. So let me help you understand. That's kind of what it was for me. Like, I went out. I'm like, let me get y'all a hand because obviously y'all don't get it.
Right.
So
I mean, for me, man, I commend you on that, man. Like,
thank you.
I hadn't even went out myself. I want to go out.
Mm-hmm.
I have these two things that's like fighting. Like, I would like to go out, but then it's like, I honestly feel like, what's the purpose? And that's so layered. And so when I say the purpose, meaning like, yeah, but we've done that also for Rodney King Joint coming up. Like, I think that was in 92.
Yeah.
So that was how many years ago? And there was a riot. But my point is, it's been happening so much, and I've seen it so much, and we watched so many videos about this situation, Breonna Taylor, or Ahmaud, or all these different situations, and it's just it's almost overwhelming.
It is.
You know what I mean? And like, so how does it affect like your mental state? You know what I mean?
I had to take a break. Like, this is a break for me. Even driving, I had to drive an hour here. This is a break. Like, I'm beat.
Right.
I'm tired.
Right.
It's hard work, man. Like you said with the protests, it's like, what's the purpose of it? And I even had to ask myself that. I'm like, okay, we start off with the protest. What's next?
Right.
Like, we want to let our voices be heard. We want to see. So I've really only been to 2 protests.
Right.
2 or 3 protests. But there's been hella protests like every week or so. So, but past the protests, I've been meeting up with the police chief. I met with the lady from the SBI. I met with the like, I'm supposed to be meeting with the mayor's office, like trying to set that up, trying to get in contact with his people. I met with the city manager, head of Parks and Recreation in my city, and just talking to them about, you know, what we need to do to change. What's my role and what we need to do to change, because it can't stay this way, and we can't continue to act like it's not a problem. Right. But it's overwhelming, man. Like I said, even with me, like, I feel bad about feeling bad, because I think about his family. I think about their families, and I think about, you know, what they had to go through. Like, just seeing their loved one die and trying to fight for justice. Like, you should never have to fight for your right to live. Right? That's not cool. Right. We don't, in the land of the free, home of the brave, we still don't feel safe. Like, with just walking around, not doing anything. We don't have records or anything. It's like, we just don't feel safe walking around.
You say you've talked to some police officers. You're scheduled to talk to the mayor or something, right?
Trying to.
What are they saying? Like, I'm asking that for a number of reasons.
I'm glad you
know, what are they saying to you as a 19-year-old black male who's a rapper? Like, you fit so many descriptions of, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Of what they would deem as, you know, a nobody. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what are the police saying to you?
You know, I haven't talked to any officers directly. I just talked with the sheriff and the police chief. And I talked to one of the lieutenants as well that I knew for a long time. Okay. Police chief, he's consistently telling me, like, that he's happy that I did this. Like, he's happy that I went out and started this, like, precedent of change, because if we don't do it, it doesn't mean anything for him to do it. Like, the people have to be behind the cause before the government gets behind the cause, because, like, and I'm like, I understand it, but at the same time, y'all in the positions where y'all can make change. But I'm like, if I have to be the person that gets up and says, hey, we need this from y'all, and, you know, police chief, he's listening with open ears. The SBI, I just kind of got information from them, like, talk to them about police reform. But there's a special agent down there that I spoke with, and she's very open about, you know, trying to initiate change. And it all goes back to training. It all goes back to the hiring process, training. How much money do they have? Like, and, you know, we know that North Carolina has money. We know, you know, we know that these governments have money for different things, but a lot of us, like regular civilians, everyday citizens, we don't know where our money is going. And we had a right to know. Like, city council meetings and county commissioner meetings happen in my city every first and second Monday. Right. These are open to the public. People could come out and learn, you know, and they consistently telling me that. But I'm like, you know, it would be cool if people knew that. It would be cool if y'all made the extra effort, not only to say that, but as an elected or appointed official, go out, do your job, and connect with the people and let them know, like, this is open for you to come. This is open to the public. Like, you can be here. We want you to know where the money is going. We want you to know what we have in the works. It's like, to me, it seemed like common sense. Like, if you're in a position where you're supposed to be serving and protecting the people, serve. Right. You know, do what's right. Promote these things to the people. I've constantly been pushing promotion, because every idea that I'm bringing up, they like, we already have that. I'm like, okay, can we do a forum about racism? Boom, we already got that coming up. I'm like, I haven't heard about this. People haven't heard about this. When I ask, they keep telling me we need this. Right.
So that's why it's like it's all bold. I mean, man, like I think anyone that's out there doing something, trying to talk to officials, trying to talk to the officers, whatever, like, you know, more power to you, man. But it's pointless if their heart hasn't changed. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can say all that, oh, yeah, I think this is good. Yeah, we have this in place. if a person still look at you and think you're beneath them, they still think that you're supposed to serve them, they still think that you're supposed to obey them, and they don't have your best interests at heart, it's pointless.
And I say this, I feel like a lot of them, like, there's certain ones, you know, where their heart is in the right place. Like I said, I feel like everybody that I've talked to so far, their heart is in the right place, which that also can be seen as pointless for me to talk to them if their heart is already in the right place. I understand that as well, but the thing that we're struggling with is the top-down theory. It's like, okay, the people at the top might feel a certain way, but then when you look at, like, the officers, the chief might feel one way, the officers might be feeling a completely different way. They don't care about nothing we got to say. They don't, and that's not always the case with all of them, but one bad apple spoils the bunch, especially in law enforcement. If there's one bad officer, that's all it takes. Derek Chauvin was one officer. There was 3 officers there that was watching him, but he was the one officer. You know, that's all that it takes. And
I say all of them are bad because if they were good, they could out. It was 3 of them. If 3 of them was good, they could have overpowered the one bad one.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's like I said, it's all. But all right, let me ask you this then. So, because a lot of people say, well, you know, there's still good cops out. Like, when would the good cops ever take a stand? You know what I'm saying?
And that's
all right. For an example, I'll give you this example, right? If I believe in, like, you don't have to really talk about it, you could just do something. So let's say you get you're at a job and you're tired of the way something's going on. Like, I worked in the medical field for 7 years, right? If I saw some stuff that's going on that's like really negatively affecting like a patient or something, then I gotta say something. Now, if me saying something is not it's not gonna benefit anyone, then I gotta remove myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's something as simple as, I know people, it's kind of like a weird like example. Like, I remember the first time, like, I worked in dialysis, right? And I remember going to get a patient to bring to dialysis, and you know, we kind of like, I ain't gonna say train, but it's like learned behavior. Like, you know, let's go ahead and get the patient out, bring them in, you know, tell the family whatever you gotta tell them. Basically, they get them to the treatment. Right. And so I remember picking up this lady one time, I'll never forget it. And you know, I went to pick up her. I think her son or grandson had just got there. He was like, "Yeah, I really wanted to see her." But I was like, "Yeah, but you know, she gotta go. You know, I'll bring her back." And so she had an issue on the machine. She ended up dying. You know what I mean? And during that process, you know, I want to say she was complaining about something, but they kind of ignored it.
Right.
Or I ain't gonna say ignored it, but it was like, it was put off too long. And what I'm saying is, from that day, I said, okay, when people are trying to be with their family, or I feel like the patient is being ignored too long, because when I say ignored, meaning it might be a whole bunch of stuff going on and you can't keep your eyes on everybody. Like, I'm gonna have to say something, because I felt the guilt, because I told that guy, listen, I'm gonna bring her back.
Right.
And I didn't.
Right.
She dead now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, in my mind, that's the last thing that he remembered. Me saying, I'll bring her back. She not back. How are police able to sit and watch somebody cry for help, and if they good, even if it's a little bit, not step up, bro?
Yeah, and I feel that and that's been a lot of my problem too, because you know, I've been put in this position where I've been talking to all different people and getting all different perspectives. I done talked to racist people, over this process. They've been on my social media, like, looking and stuff. And I don't have a problem with that because, like, I have a problem with them being disrespectful on my page, of course. But I want you to see this. Like, I want you to see this movement. But I've been bombarded with, like, the statement that there are good cops. Like, all cops aren't bad. But, you know, my problem with that theory, you know, and I know that all cops are not bad, but like you said, we want y'all to step up. And for them, it's always the question of what can we do to step up, right? So my suggestion and my way of doing that is community relations. In Henderson, we had things like Color Fest. I don't know if you ever heard of Color Fest.
What's Color Fest?
Basically, well, I mean, generally speaking, what I'm talking about is like community events.
Okay.
Like, Color Fest was an event where you come out. There's all different colors, all different cultures of people, like, out there, and there's, like, vendors, there's booths set up, and you learn about people's cultures. You learn about, like, the different things, and it's interactive. People are there. You learn about things about the city that you might not know, things about the people in the city that you might not know. And it's just all cool, you know. Then we had things like Night Out Against Crime or Meet Me in the Street. All of these events, like, you got food, music, people out there just having a good time. You know, there might be a message involved, like from police chief or from the mayor, the sheriff, or whatever, people out there. Or somebody like me who's like seen as a community leader or whatever, out there and kind of just speaking to the people. But oftentimes the trouble with that comes in with, like, in their eyes is like, if we do something like that, people get to fight. And I'm like, you know, it's always going to be that. Especially in Henderson, it's always going to be that. And other places too, I'm sure. There's going to be people that fight. There's going to be things that happen.
But why you say especially in Henderson?
I mean, the violent crime rate is like the second highest in the state,
right,
in Henderson. So,
why is it?
I don't know. I grown up.
Like, the people that you grew up with, what are their relationships with cops?
With cops?
Yeah, because, you know, you said you didn't, you might did some stuff, but you weren't out there like that.
Right, so, like, my grandma was, the two extremes, right, is, like, my grandmother lives on this side of the block, right, and she's a crime stopper, like,
right.
She
calling the law.
Yeah, you go around the corner right here, it's a trap house.
Right.
I'm down there across the street playing on the swing with my friends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the two, and obviously they don't like the police.
Right.
They don't want nothing to do with the police. My grandmother want everything to do with the police. Those are the two extremes of it. It's like people don't want to even start that conversation.
Right.
And that's not all on people.
Right.
Because the relationship that people have had with police is kind of a thing where, like, they're seen as enforcers rather than civil servants. Yeah, it's law enforcement, and you're supposed to enforce the law, but you don't have to be forceful about it. And one thing that I was emphasizing to the police chief, I'm like, a lot of these police go outside and they sitting up at the gas station at nighttime waiting for people to pass by speeding, and you never see them in the daytime down at the gas station talking to people. Right. You never see them out just learning the people that they're supposed to be protecting and serving. Their whole thing is like, I'm a hero. I'm gonna catch a couple drug dealers today. You know, I'm gonna find some people with some illegally registered, like some non-registered weapons. I'm gonna put them up, and that's their whole mindset the whole time. It's like, if you go in with the mindset like, I'm trying to catch bad people, period. Law enforcement is not for you.
Right.
It's like,
and they're not trying to help their situations. This is the reason why I say that too. So when we talk about systemic racism or like, one thing I hate about cops is they do the same trickeries that criminals do.
okay,
Like you just said,
right.
They wait up at the gas station to catch people at night speeding instead of in the daytime where someone can see you. I did security in Wake Forest at I think it was Embark. That's CenturyLink now.
Okay.
Right there at that building, CenturyLink, right?
Off of US1.
Right. And when I was doing security, it was at nighttime, Third Shift. They emphasize focus on Henderson. It was like this. Where I don't know what it was, but it had like a bunch of like copper wiring or whatever for the internet phone service or whatever.
Yeah.
It was just out there, but they emphasized. I remember focus on Henderson because it guarantees someone's gonna hop that fence, and you gotta call the police and say, "Hey, get over there." You know what I'm saying? They're over there. So, in my mind, okay, now why are they jumping the fence to go steal copper?
Right.
The wiring. You know what I'm saying? What conditions are they in that made them wait till 3 o'clock in the morning to hop a fence to steal copper wiring because it sells for so high? You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean.
And they never help that situation. They never try to get to the root issue.
Right. It's like you worried about. Y'all so worried about the looting. Y'all want to talk about, oh, they're looting Target. They're looting this. Talk about why they're out there. It wouldn't be protesting if the man didn't die.
Facts. That's
You know
something
what I
I
mean?
was saying too. Like I've been constantly confronted with all lives matter, like no rioting, no looting. I'm like at the same time, you know, and obviously I'm not replying to nobody saying all lives matter no more. It's pointless.
Right.
Like y'all know what y'all doing at this point. But like with the looting and rioting, it's like instead of saying, and I seen a post on Instagram, it was like instead of saying it was sad he had to die, but y'all shouldn't be looting and rioting. Say it's sad that people are looting and rioting, but that man shouldn't have died, like you said.
Right.
It's like at the end of the day, I don't care how much money you put towards, like how much money is lost in looting and rioting. It will not bring any of these black people back. In 2015, 105, I think it was even more than that, black people were killed by police officers unarmed. And not even half of those, I don't even think 2/3 of those officers have been convicted or charged.
Right.
Last year, 19 white men died from police brutality incidents. I think all of them except maybe one so far has gotten justice from that.
Right.
And it's like, you look at those numbers and it's like, something ain't right.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, that's a problem for people to try to deny that as a problem,
Right.
as an issue. And then, like you said, with, you know, they're not trying to get down to the root issue. They're not trying to learn people's situations. The police department is getting, I don't care how much they say they're getting a lot of money.
Right.
You know, a lot of this money is going towards like cars. They need that new Dodge. They need that new Ford with the V8 engine. But I'm like, look at the conditions that these people live in. Look at
Right.
their housing. Look at, like, it's sad, bro.
Yeah.
Like they never like you said, they never try to get down to the root issue of why they stealing the copper wires.
Right.
They just want to stop them from stealing.
Right.
It's kind of
They're
counterintuitive.
locking them up. Yeah.
Right. It's counterintuitive. It's like, it's not gonna work. It's
Right.
it's a cycle.
Right. And you know, and that's why I have issues with like, I don't want to hear all this Black Lives Matter. We want justice for George Floyd. You know, stop killing us and all that. Like, and you getting on the track, back to the music, talking about killing one another.
Yeah. It's
You know what I mean? That's another
counterintuitive.
corny thing. That's y'all corny rappers. Like, man, I get it. You know, you want to say it's entertainment, blah blah blah, but especially on a local level, you are encouraging, you are promoting violence to one another. Now it's like you looking extra corny. I don't know about everybody else, but to me, you looking extra corny because on one post, stop killing us, Black Lives Matter, and then on the next song, you riding down the street with a Draco. I don't want to hear it. Sorry.
Yeah.
And so, we as artists, influencers, people with a voice, need to start speaking up against our own stuff. I don't mean ignore the other stuff. I mean keep keep it about across the whole board.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel that too, bro. And I think that's something that's near to my heart because being an artist that doesn't talk about guns and like I don't talk about drugs or anything like
Right.
that. It sets me apart and people look at me differently and people hold me to a different standard.
Right.
But I don't think of anything that I do as any different than what anybody else does. I'm just being true to myself. But that's
Right.
the different part.
Right.
To people, it's like these dudes ain't shot nobody. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like you said, it's just entertainment. But it's no point in doing all
Right.
that. It's like, come on, bro.
Right, man. So you know, man, I just ask everyone keep it up around the, you know, across the board. If you want to see Black Lives Mattering to everyone, make it matter to, you know, you and whatever you're doing. Are you giving up on the first black business because they did you wrong? Right. You like I ain't. This is why you can't mess with black folks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are you giving up on the black business? Are you looking for the black businesses? Are you really supporting your people when they think different from you? Or they have different perspectives from what you believe is so true. You know what I mean?
And that's one thing I've been hating a lot to see. You know, even more so than the like white people or people of other races in opposition to Black Lives Matter. I've been hating to see how black people have been acting towards it. It's a lot of, and it's two sides to every coin.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the people who are out there who are, you know, woke, so to speak, like you got everything intact, you know what's going on, but you're not spreading that knowledge. You consistently looking down on people. You're not looking to be patient with people and help them to gain an understanding of the things that you not have an understanding of. And it's like very strict religious or lifestyle changes that you have to make in order to be down with them or down with what they do. And it's like they kind of try to close people off from that, which I feel like is whack because, like you said, no matter who you are, what you do, like what your culture is, what your religion, anything, at the end of the day, we all black people. And we have to live in that fact, and we all have to live every day, like, as black people. So why would you cause more division when there's already been enough division? And on the other hand, there's people who are, like, just silent.
Right.
They don't see the bigger picture of, like, what they're doing. You know, it's like, yeah, people are dying, but that's not me.
Right.
You know, like as if that couldn't have been you.
Right. Yeah,
it's whack, bro.
And it could be any of us, man.
Yeah, facts.
And so, just all right, let's just get off that, man. So here at No Fluff TV, we do not do top 5 rappers.
Okay.
We do starting 5.
Starting 5, I like that.
You know what I'm saying? And during the quarantine, we actually had a couple battles. I had a couple battles with the starting 5, so I'm 1-1. So I won against Super, but then I lost against Pat Miller. But who are your starting 5 rappers? Meaning those 5 can out rap any other 5 that's put up against.
Out rap, so like just lyrics.
It's all about bars.
All about bars. I got, and you talking about all time, like
however you want to do it. It's not even of all time. Just if you had to pick 5 rappers to go against another 5, who would those 5 be?
I got 3 Stacks, Royce the 5'9", Black Thought, Black Thought. See, this is where it gets tricky at. Shoot. Biggie.
Okay.
And Big L.
Okay. That's pretty hard.
Matter of fact, my bad. And I'm gonna get flack for this. Let me replace Biggie with Lupe Fiasco.
Wow. Okay, Lupe. Yeah, Lupe is top notch.
Yeah.
You had 2 of mine. My starting 5 was I had 2 different ones. But the two people that remained in there were Black Thought and Royce.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like them dudes were just rap. Like, So yeah, man, good. If there is one song that you can say, this is what hip hop is from one song.
They Reminisce Over You by C.O. Smooth and Pete Rock.
My brother. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, this brother, y'all need to go ahead and follow him. Support whatever he got going on, because I'm just definitely impressed today. This dude has great taste in artists and music. So I'm just, wow, man. This is pretty dope. So look, man, just to wrap it up, we do No Fluff Flowers. Basically, look into the camera, man, and show love to whoever you want to show love to. But I say, the people who you don't think about as often, show them some love.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Some little gratitude, and that's it.
It's your boy 2FlyKng. Most of y'all know me as Khalil. Much love to, first and foremost, God. Praise y'all for every good and perfect blessing. Love to my mom, Crown the Collective. Shout out to my manager Newman behind the cam, Shiraz, Belushi, my brothers. Shout out to all of my supporters, the 2Fly Street team. Shout out to all of my friends. Y'all know y'all names: Andre, Jalen, Isaiah, Keyshawn, Taheem, LeVar, the whole squad. Yeah, everybody that I talk to on a daily basis. I ain't gonna get myself in no trouble, but you already know.
Yeah, so. Y'all ladies, y'all know who y'all are.
Nah.
Y'all know who y'all are.
Nah.
Who we talk to on an everyday basis.
Nah.
Word, man. And I would ask you for some bars, man, but I'm not, because the thing is, I'm working on a No Fluff TV mixtape.
Okay.
And so basically, I don't really reach out to people often. You know what I mean? So me reaching out to you, that was something special. But I am asking artists who I think, could use some exposure, or I think is kind of dope to get on something, man. And so I'm gonna play something for you, and then we go into it, see if you're interested. But you know what I mean? I just want to thank you. Appreciate you coming over, man. I know Clayton was a little hump for you.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
You know what I'm saying? But you like taking long rides anyway.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean?
Pause.
Definitely pause, man. Shout out to Newman, man, coming through, supporting you. What made you choose Newman as your manager?
This one of the smartest guys I know, bro. Newman, one of the smartest dudes I know.
Y'all went to high school together or something?
Nah, I met him through my videographer, Shiraz. So I was out in Carolina Beach shooting a video for my song Reflection.
What's Carolina Beach?
You know Carolina Beach?
No, I've heard Carolina Beach before, and so I just want to hear what you say. Carolina Beach.
Yeah, it's just a beach. I mean, I'm not familiar with like beach town terms, but yeah, it's like out there near.
Is it Wilmington area?
Yeah, like Wilmington.
Okay.
I was about to say that, but I didn't want to be wrong.
Right.
But yeah, so we was out there, and that's when I initially met him. I just know him from then as a like really humble, hardworking guy. Anybody that Shiraz endorses, I definitely pay attention to that. Right. And I noticed him, say a couple things about management, like here and there, just throwing little tidbits. And I figured, I want to enter a more serious part of my career where it's gonna have to be more than just me. And so he was the first person I thought about, and I asked him, and he said, yeah, like he would be honored to be my manager. So I'm honored to have this guy on my side, be able to represent me. And he's moving to LA in August, so I'm gonna miss him, but we're gonna have a worldwide 2Fly on East Coast.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope, man. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate y'all watching. It's No Fluff TV. Remember, it's no more no cap. It's no fluff. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow. Stay up with our Hot 16 challenge that's coming on, man. It premieres on I'm So NCTV, but it also it shows up on No Fluff TV channel on YouTube. Check that out, man. Let us know what you think about that. And we out, man.